fuck is this dude, man? Yo, he say Chevron or Moment. Let's call this guy, man. This he's been standing here for like a fucking hour, man. Come on, dude.
What's up, YouTube? My name is King Smog, and I refuse to be the only homeless success story. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, what do you mean by a homeless success story? How can you be homeless and still be a success? No, I was homeless at one time, and I successfully pulled myself out of it. And I'm here to let you know, if you are homeless, or you know somebody who is struggling with homelessness, or you are on the verge of becoming homeless, I'm here to let you know that there is hope for you. I'm also here to let you know that there is nothing special about me. And no, I do not believe because I am no longer homeless that I am better than the people who are still out there struggling with homelessness. However, before I go into my personal story, I want to talk about the struggles that all homeless people face. The first thing one needs to realize about head-on the concrete type of poverty is that you're trapped in the vicious cycle the first day that you wake up on the streets. First thing that you're gonna have a desire to do when you wake up is eat, right? But you don't got any money. And not only do you not have any money, but you don't even have anywhere to store your food. Now, even with EBT, you will find yourself having to buy meals from fast food restaurants or grocery stores. And with the snap of a finger, the snap money is gone.
I'm nodding off while eating $2 churros.
Which leaves you with a couple different options. One can either go out and look for a job or find a hustle. Now, hustles allow you to acquire money within minutes or hours, whereas finding a job may yield you a paycheck within 2 weeks. With basic necessities such as acquiring food and water needing to be met on the daily, it only makes sense that the homeless engage in fast money hustles.
Do what I want to say. It's a sunny day for a somebody.
Now, obtaining these basic necessities is not only often difficult, but can be time-consuming as well. The following is an accurate scenario depicting a typical day hustling when homeless. After spending 5 hours collecting recyclables, you realize you only have 15 minutes before the recycling plant closes. The only way to get there in time, a solid jog. And after an exhausting run with 2 bags of recyclables in each hand, you discover you only made $10, not even enough for a medium meal at McDonald's. Directly behind security guards, the homeless's biggest enemy is time itself. You will find yourself either having too much or too little, all while damning yourself for quote-unquote wasting it. On the surface, it may appear that we have nothing but time, and unfortunately, this is a stereotype that I cannot break with just words. However, anyone who has spent any time on the streets understands exactly what I'm talking about. Hustling to quell one's hunger or quench one's thirst does not need to be illegal. However, the legal hustle that homeless partake in oftentimes have a tremendously negative effect on their self-esteem.
But I'll just kick tomorrow. That's what James said.
Let's take flying a sign, for example, something I'm not proud to say I'm familiar with. Now, this involves the complete and total abandonment of what I call one's positive personal perception. This is a hustle that in order for you to be successful in it, you must completely and totally disregard how the next man perceives you. What people say, what they may think, and how they may feel must be completely and totally put aside if you wish to be successful. It also inadvertently serves as a way to completely and totally expose yourself to society as a homeless person. Imagine holding a cardboard sign on the center divider and having your ex-lover pull up to the side of you, with her eyes completely and totally locked upon yours and her eyebrows raised in complete and total shock. You cannot do this hustle and expect that your vagrancy will be kept secret. The acceptance of others viewing you as homeless does tremendous damage to your pride, ego, self-worth, and humility. And if the damage is large enough, it could be rendered irreversible. This is what I refer to as a reluctant acceptance. Reluctant acceptance. Something that is all too common in the homeless community. This is something that I spent a tremendous amount of time battling with myself. And it is very hard to not just give into it. However, I looked at it like, well, if I give up on myself and I don't give a fuck about myself, then who's left to give a fuck about me, you know? If it's F everything, then it's F me, right? and that's the honest to God truth. It is only through having a strong mind and even stronger willpower that I did not submit to reluctant acceptance. I took up flying a sign because every time someone gave me something, it renewed my faith in humanity a little bit more. Being homeless, this faith is tried and tested on the daily. It allowed me to maintain a positive viewpoint on society, a viewpoint that inevitably over time becomes twisted and skewed with every heartless stare, rolling of the eyes, negative nod of the head, infliction of a stereotype, and belief of preconceived notions based on falsehood. The concept of forced exposure doesn't just have to do with dealing with inclement weather from lack of shelter, but existing 24/7, 365 within the eyes of the sometimes prying public. I quickly found myself hanging out in bathroom stalls during cool evenings to stay warm and hot afternoons to stay cool. I also discovered that I was subconsciously fulfilling the desire to be behind a locked door, but ultimately wanting to end this seemingly inescapable nightmare with no ending in sight called being homeless. Yet the public restrooms only offered limited solace, and I hope to never experience the inevitable anxiety surrounded by the question that never seemed to have a permanent answer, which was, where am I going to go after I have to leave the bathroom stall? Besides serving the desire to shut off the world, also it gave me a break from having to constantly exist within the public. Exposure also creates opportunity for false narratives to be created, again leaving the homeless susceptible to stereotype, which will in due time breed discrimination.